with me because I also have two guests who are joining us on the broadcast to take this discussion forward. PKD Nambiar, who's a political analyst, joins me. Also joining me is Mr. R.K. Upadhyay, who's a senior journalist. Okay, Mr. Nambiar, I'd like you to come in here. You know, why is it that this government likes to actually border on extremes? Earlier, there was ample flack that it received because of the Hindi Divas celebration, and now there is a clear push towards making Kannada the official language and the Kannada push. Why do you think that is?
Well, I don't think that is there anything wrong in making Kannada as an official language in all across, because it's at the end of the day it's Karnataka, and Kannada is one of the oldest language which has got one of the most closest to the Sanskrit, and I belong to the very close by to the neighboring state. So, and let me tell you, Karnataka is also one of the states which has got multiple languages, like many other states. Karnataka has got to Tulu, Kurgi, Konkani, many other languages are spoken in Karnataka. So, but I think I have a point here that making private enterprises also needs to be choosing people who are localized, who only speak Kannada. So then if that way, if you say that tomorrow you tell Infosys that you start coding only in Kannada, that may not really work. Yeah. That may be a little extreme, I do agree. But in the meantime, in a country which has been created states with the on the linguistic base, I think giving importance to a language do make, and the regional pride or the language pride, the language is not just for the communication, it is also a culture. From that angle, I support this bill and this move. But going to an extreme that private companies, for an example, see, when we talk about the corporate sector, predominantly 80% of the corporates in Karnataka is limited to Bangalore. Maybe a little bit spilled over to Mysore and some of the other places. So I think making this kind of a move, saying that all the IT sector needs to go only to the Kannadigas, that might change the character and also the advantage what it is holding it today as a cosmopolitan culture, which is attracts everyone, accepts everyone, every kind of a language. That should not be going away. But in the meantime, I think regional pride, the importance of language,
but Mr. Nambiar, this bill proposes penalties for private companies if they choose not to implement what is being proposed, so that it is more effective, and that's the reasoning that's been given by the state here.
Then I think in that case, the government should also be able to provide. For an example, I have a branch office in Bangalore, and many of the people whom is from the localites, I may not be able to even hire. So the reason being, they may not carry that kind of quality or a capacity or a capability. So it's basically a corporate or a private sector always look at an individual from the point of view of his quality, as a resource, what it can bring to the table, not by his language or his religion or in something else. So I think let the private companies should be kept separate. Within the government, what they can do, making Kannada as an official language is a welcome move, but making this applicable to the corporate is going to make the advantage of what Karnataka is enjoying it today. In fact, Bangalore, for an example, is considered as a capital of South India because it has got an equal distance from all the major cities from the entire south, whether it is Hyderabad or to the Cochin or to the Coimbatore or Chennai, all of them. So I think I think that the move should not be taking the advantage of Karnataka or the Bangalore or the way the corporates in the world look at Karnataka as the IT capital. That should not be the move. But yes, it is important. The language should be kept as a strong, very strongly across. There is another fashion that a large number of new age people don't want their kids to learn Kannada, which is not right, because eventually then the character of the
Mr. Nambiar, that's a separate debate of implementation for the government in the state. However, we leave it at that. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. I'd like to thank both my guests for joining me. Meanwhile, shifting focus to this next piece of